What is the symbol of wisdom being represented as a woman in the Bible? I have some thoughts in terms of wisdom as a vessel for the promises of God, but would love a broader understanding. Yes. And so why is wisdom represented as a woman? And so you have to understand it, at least in the kind of the Solomonic tradition, like in this Solomonic text, that it has to do with wisdom has to do with a kind of incarnation. It has to do with applicability. And so you have wisdom, and you have, let's say, you have understanding, and you have wisdom. So you have a kind of abstract theoretical understanding, and then you have wisdom, which is the applicability, or that's why wisdom is always like advice. Wisdom is like, if you do this, this will happen. If you do that, this will happen. So wisdom incarnates an abstract pattern. And so that's why wisdom, so you can understand, like in these Solomonic texts, you can it's understanding calling to wisdom, and it's seen as like a kind of sexual union. And so you have, let's say, the higher aspect and this kind of applied aspect. And so that's why, like in the scripture, the wisdom is referred to as feminine, but in the tradition, wisdom is referred to as Christ. So it's like Christ is wisdom because Christ is incarnate. And so the way that it ends up being solved, in my opinion, the most appropriately, is not in the theology, but is in the art. That the image of the image of Christ sitting on the Virgin's lap, the throne of wisdom that it's called, that is the true understanding of the solution to wisdom, which is the idea or the totality of this problem of the masculine and feminine in this calling that we see in scripture. And so you have the mother of God as the frame, the mother of God as the seat, as the place in which the divine logos enters. And then, but she's also a throne. So she creates the frame. She legitimizes, to a certain extent, makes earthly, this divine logos that comes into her. And so Christ sitting on his mother together, to me, that is the best image of wisdom. Like the best image of wisdom, if you want to totally understand it. But it's what's said there in the Old Testament is totally appropriate. And I think that it's taken in problematic areas. Everybody who's Orthodox knows about the problem of sophiology that has appeared in the 20th century. And I think that it becomes problematic. And there's a reason why we tend to always want to show the Mother of God with Christ, because that's the proper way to perceive wisdom, is that as the actual incarnation, which has a physical bodily aspect and a seed aspect to it. At least that's the best that I can do with that. But it's a tricky subject. The whole wisdom thing, the whole Sophia thing is tricky because it's so controversial in the church right now.